This is an odd thing. Wife and I have been married 20 years. I've never suspected her of cheating and our sex life has been outstanding. First of the year, I receive a package in the mail. It's a DVD addressed to me and a typed note that says your eyes only. It's my wife having sex, separately, with 3 guys. She was younger, much younger. Based on body and appearance and hairstyle, it was around the time we were going out, either before, during, or after we were engaged. She grew her hair longer for the wedding and kept it that way. First, I've no idea who sent it to me other than one of those 3 guys in the DVD, none of which I know. I'm assuming it's one of my wife's ex. Second, I've no idea why they sent it. Are they trying to say she was screwing around on me? The tape isn't time-stamped, so I don't have a frame of reference. She kept her hair short for years until we were engaged, so it could have been during a block of time, certainly before we dated. And also, what are they trying to achieve if this was taken before we dated? I know my wife had other partners. Hell, I had 3 times the partners she did before we married, but that was 20 years ago. I think we're past that. But apparently this person or persons isn't. The whole thing is strange. I'm not sure what's going on. I haven't told my wife. I'm not sure how she would take it. She's very sexual and adventurous, but I don't think she'd like the idea of her past catching up to her. But I don't think I'll get to the bottom of this unless I tell her. Added update. I'm overwhelmed by the responses. Thank you for your interest. I did speak to my wife yesterday afternoon. Some mentioned letting her watch it in private and I gave her that option. She did and we talked at length. Some of it is a bit clearer now. The 2 amateur-looking videos are 2 roommates taken on the same night. That's why the camera doesn't move and that's why the room is the same. I asked why the bed looks different and she replied the sheets were a bit messy, so they changed them before they had another go. The other is a boyfriend she dated when her and I met, before we actually started dating. She knows this man is friends with one of the before-mentioned roommates and thinks it's him who got the 3 videos together and sent them to us. Why? She admits that last summer he tried connecting with her on Facebook. When she did, he tried to make it sexual again, so she stopped. She thinks he sent the DVD to cause an issue with us. For the first time, I now have doubts. Her answers are logical but seem a bit off to me. And honestly, I may be just upset that she did 2 guys in one night. I know it was 20 years ago, but that's still hard to take. Call me shallow if you want. Also, she didn't seem shaken by the DVD or the fact I had it, merely irritated that this person sent it. I had the idea she'd rather I didn't have it, but now that I did, oh well. It still leaves many questions unanswered, such as why the tapes are from 96-97 and the DVD was made in 2013, but I'm just getting it now. That may be minor, but it may be everything. Plus, how does this gentleman know where I live? Facebook doesn't give you that information. Being in contact with someone does, so now you see why I have doubts. Thanks to you all for your concern and feedback. I love my wife and cherish her, and her past is her past, but for some reason it's slapping us in the face right now. I will take some time between the 2 of us to figure out what is truly going on. Edit 2-1. Want to clarify something. I've been getting a lot of feedback, mostly negative, where everyone is irritated with me that I'm upset with my wife for being with 2 men in the same night. None of my business. It was 20 years ago. I should man up, that sort of thing. Look, I said it was hard to take. Most men understand their partner was with different people before them, but seeing their spouse with 2 men on the same night is hard to handle. I didn't say I was changing my view of her, or leaving, or any other angst you want to put on me. It's just a difficult thing for a married man to see and realize. I'll get past it, but it's not an easy thing. And for everyone who says it was 20 years ago, lighten up. I challenge you to sit back, grab a beer and watch 2 young men have intercourse with your wife on the same night and see how you feel about it. Frustrated at best. You won't love her less, but you'll not feel great afterwards, trust me. So thanks for everyone calling me an asshole, but until you're in that position, I'll ignore you. Thank you very much. Final edit. This will be my final edit. Thank you all for your support, but all I will say is, it's time for me to make some decisions. I hacked into my wife's Facebook account. Childish and immature, I'll admit, but I did it nonetheless. And I found things disturbing enough that I need to think long and hard about what I do next. I've given her the benefit of the doubt through this entire thing. Now a shadow had been cast and I'm questioning her more than ever before. Heartbroken is putting it mildly. It's time for me to work on my life and myself. Thanks to everyone and their interest.
Told my ex-wife if it weren't for our daughter, I wouldn't ever talk to her again. My ex found herself unhappy in our marriage. She never spoke up about her unhappiness, and ultimately let herself get to a place where she did not feel she was in love with me anymore. There were never any requests for me to change behaviors she wound up saying after the fact she couldn't deal with. At this conclusion, she had an emotional affair at least. I discovered it through changes in her behavior. The phone always followed her everywhere. The shower, the bathroom, hid under her pillow, always within reach. She would quickly close her phone when I'd approach her. It was so obvious. She would never admit it to me. I did what I had to do and went through all her shither phone, FB, Google history. Sure enough, it's clear it's not platonic. I confronted and we separated. She decided the day to do so was Thanksgiving Day. That's the day she was going to leave the home 30 minutes before we are to be out the door to my family's Thanksgiving celebration. I start counseling to get myself sorted out. It was the best decision I ever made for myself. It helped me realize I'm not a man without faults. However, I also learned I'm willing to own those and work on them. I was never presented that opportunity. I was even willing to do couples counseling before throwing in the towel. She said it was useless because she didn't love me. We divorced after 2 months of separating and her staying at her affair partner's house for a month. I was crushed at her choice to leave without ever even making an attempt to fix the things I didn't even know were wrong. She has never admitted to her infidelity, nor has she apologized for it. I wondered for a period of time whether I wanted to live. Through counseling, exercise, family help, medication, my daughter, and grit, I got out of the woods. I'm good again. Unhappy. The divorce was in April at her decision. We split everything equally. I'm thriving. I have a new place. I'm getting braces off. I'm in shape. I have a great job. And I'm meeting quality women. However, interacting with my ex brings me a step back oftentimes. I recognize my need for some boundaries with her regarding communication. I sent an explanation to her in writing a month ago that I need communication between her and I to be solely about our daughter. She has strayed from that request. We have equal custody of our daughter. She wanted to go on a weekend trip with her friends, so I agreed to alter some of our legally agreed upon times to have our daughter. She sent me a text that said we would hand off about 6 p.m., and she stated she was open to adjusting times if we need to. 2 days later, I asked her if we could do more like 6:30 p.m. instead so our daughter could have dinner with me and my parents and I didn't have to inconvenience my mom, the person cooking dinner. I'm staying at their house post-divorce until next week. She said she would appreciate if we could eat earlier. I asked why. She replied, because we agreed on 6 p.m. I said no. My mom wouldn't alter her plans considering the infidelity and her behavior otherwise. I don't budge because I'm doing her a favor switching. It's my legal custodial time. And asking mom to change dinner isn't an option. She goes on text rant that says she will drive over to sit in the driveway till we are done eating or just come get our daughter. I tell her she will not. She then repeat dials me 5 times. She says she will call all night because she didn't have anything better to do. I didn't answer her calls and just told her I was watching a movie. We speak after the movie and it's clear the conversation is getting emotional. She said I was a dick to her for years. Remember, she never told me she felt that way before. I would up ending the call since it got abusive. We spoke again last night. I reiterated to her the communication boundaries I set with her. I told her talking about our past is off the table now. I informed her my family knows she had an affair. I told her that her actions had a major impact on my mental health. I told her I'm thriving now and she continues to set me back with her behavior. I told her I consider being called a dick as verbal abuse, which I will not tolerate. I also told her I consider the repeat dials as harassment and will lawyer up if it continues. I let her know I wish I didn't feel this way, but I told her I'd never speak to her again if it weren't for our daughter due to the way she chose to end the marriage. I still feel like shit. I feel like she needs to know what she did to me and how I feel about her as a result. None of it feels good. Edit. Wow, I'm overwhelmed by the support and consistency of the messages. I have a book to read and Grey Rock Communication to research. I also have debated if she is a narcissist, and I'm starting to think she may actually be one. Thanks again, everyone. Edit 2. I got a lot of really great comments here. Much appreciated, kind folks. I wanted to share one piece of information I learned today. The trip my ex was going on ... the one I agreed to switch her time with so she could go ... is with her affair partner. You guys nailed it. Total narcissist lol.